Hello, my name is Owen. Today I'll be doing a quick review of Robin Hobb's The Assassin's Apprentice. What I'm going to do is give a brief overview of the book is about, tell you the things that I liked, and tell you the things that I didn't like. Jumping straight into it, this is a fantasy book. It's written in the first person from the perspective of a character named Fitz. It's actually interesting because it is him as an adult reflecting on his childhood, and he's kind of like a scholar or something in the future, but he's remembering his time as a child when he was growing up. He is the bastard of the king in waiting, Prince Chivalry, and basically people don't really know what to do with him because of the political implications of like what does that mean for the rest of the people and like the line of succession, and also just like what does that mean for chivalry and like his honor, because they don't really think he would have been someone that would have had a bastard, but he definitely is chivalry's. So it's kind of just exploring that and Fitz and trying to find his purpose and like where he's going to bring value to the king and into the kingdom. And I gotta say, going right into the things that I liked, I might have found a fantasy series that I'm going to fall in love with after the first book. For context, I did listen to this on audiobook, and it was my first audiobook in a while. It was narrated by Paul Bamer. I got it on Libby, and it was just like, it did take me a while to get used to like listening to an audiobook. Like I said, it's been like several years since I read my first audiobook, and I don't really think I was that big of a fan, but it's like, to have myself in the mindset where I could like sit down and actually absorb what was happening took me a little bit. But once I was in, like, he's like a British, slow speaking man. And like, he did a little bit of voices for all the characters, and I was just like really sucked in. And this whole book in general, one of the things I like is just such like a warm, maybe not comforting, because it's not like it's a super lighthearted book, especially in some cases, but it just felt like a warm, inviting world. And that might be because it was just a British man narrating it, but I also think it's due to the writing style and the characters and how they are, because not everybody's like good and like perfect, but Fitz has a lot of mentor characters, which is like my favorite fantasy trope, is like the gruff old man mentor who like, man, I don't want to be your mentor, man. And they do it because they love the kids so much. And that's like, Fitz has like 3 of those, and like Burrich and Shade, and even like King Shrewd a little bit is kind of a mentor figure in some ways. But a lot of people in the story want to look out for Fitz, and there's obviously some who want bad things for him. But it was so refreshing to see just like so many characters stick their neck out for him. And also, another thing I love is just the character of Fitz to begin with. I was really hesitant about following a child protagonist because it's been a while since I read a book with like a proper kid protagonist. And like I said, he starts out when he's like 6 years old. But I think it really helped that it was from the perspective of him as an adult reflecting on his life, because he doesn't, the prose and like the observations don't seem childish. Fitz is not a perfect character. Like when he's like a kid, he has wrong views on the world. He makes wrong decisions, but he's so competent, which was so refreshing. And he's just like kind-hearted, which is why I love him so much. Like, you always know that Fitz, whether or not he makes the right decision or not, his heart is in the right place, and he's actually so competent. Like, spoiler alert, like, he is the Assassin's Apprentice eventually, and there are scenes where he like enters a situation, he's able to analyze it and then make like an actually intelligent decision about what to do next. And it has another one of my favorite tropes in movies and in books where the character's like, oh, like my mentor's not here, but what would they think? And then like he thinks to the perspective of Shade, and like Shade's voice comes, like, man, I don't analyze the situation. And I just really love that. And just Fitz is like, he's smart, he's kind, and he's just like, he was such a wholesome protagonist to me. I don't know. I just can't wait. This is the first time I read a fantasy book in a while where I immediately picked up the next book in the series as soon as I finished it. Unfortunately, I couldn't get another audiobook, so I'm reading it just in normal like ebook, like print. But I really love this world and this story. And as for things that I didn't like, I would say the only complaint I had for this book, obviously I loved it, was just that I wish the scale was maybe a little bit smaller in terms of the scope of the story. Because like I said, the story starts when he's 6 years old and ends when he's 14. So there's just a lot of like glossing over of parts of his life. Not that I wanted him to stay 6 the whole time, because I really didn't. But there's aspects when he's like being trained in like diplomacy or trained in like combat, and it's kind of just like, I went to trainings and like 4 months passed, and like the assassin training, it's not really like I think the title of Assassin's Apprentice is kind of misleading, and I think I read something that was like Robin Hobb wanted it to be called The Bastard, which I think makes a lot more sense, because he's not like really training to be an assassin the whole time. He doesn't really do much assassinating or assassination plots. It's kind of brushed over where he gets like this mentor assassin figure, and it's just like, and I learned the skills. That's like how it's kind of glossed over, because the story's not really about that. And overall, because it's over such a long period of time, the plot is really just Fitz's like journey to becoming like a competent like contributor to this kingdom. Because the real like intrigue plot that's on the back of the book with like the assassination plot that has the fate of the world in its hands or whatever like the back is, doesn't really kick in, at least in the audiobook, in like the last 2 hours of the audiobook, which I don't know what that would translate to. So I didn't really know where the book was going the entire time, which was interesting, but I think I would like more of like a set story. Like if I would have known like this was the target and these are the like, I think the political nation that we were dealing with at the end wasn't introduced, or at least deeply introduced, until it was necessary for like Fitz's mission. So it was just a little bit too big of a scale, but like I said, I still really enjoyed the book, and I'm still diving straight in to the next one. Great series, and I'm mad that it took me so long to read this, because especially I think if I would have read this, like, I don't know, like when I was just like a little bit younger too, I would have like connected to Fitz more, but I don't know, I love it so much, and I am already reading the next book in the series. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want to check out the reviews for those books when they come out. And also if you'd like just reviews in general and other book stuff, I really appreciate the support, and I'll see you guys later.